Here's one of, if not the biggest lessons I've learned in my life so far and in my self-improvement journey. So 2 days ago, I was having a math lesson at home. So I'm sitting, with my math tutor, and he's giving me a SAT exam for math. Basically, if you don't know what SAT is, it's the most important exam you will take basically in your life. It's basically the exam that determines if you will go to college or not, or go to the major you want to major in or not, basically. So it's the most important exam for American schools. I know there's a different name for it in British and European schools, but it's called SAT in American schools, right? So I'm taking this test, and this is the first time I'm taking an SAT test. And it's a digital test. You take it, on your laptop, and it gives you a score. And if you don't know SAT, basically the score is out of 1,600, but it's split into math, which is 800, and English, which is 800. So both are 1,600, right? And what I got was, I was doing this practice test, and I'm thinking, I'm one of the smartest people on earth, right? I'm gonna get like the highest score out of anyone. I'm like in the top 0.1%. I'm gonna get like 1,600 like this, right? And I'm hyping myself up while I'm doing the test, and I'm like, this is so easy, right? But I finish the test, and my score is 670 out of 1,600. I got 470 in math and 200 in English. Basically, I didn't solve the English, but my overall was 670 out of 1,600. That is one of the worst scores you can get if you don't know. Like, that's a terrible, terrible score. 670 is like nothing. Like, the minimum is 800 in SAT, right? And I remember I looked at my math tutor and I told him, what do you think? Is there hope? I told him that exactly. Like, is there hope? And he looked in my eyes and he told me, of course there's hope. And I just felt so mad. I just felt so mad at myself that I got that grade. I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna take a test every single day. And this was 2 days ago, right? So after I finished that test, I immediately opened my laptop and I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna take the full test. English and math, the full test. I don't care how long it takes. I'm gonna see how much I get. The last test I got 670. This test, I'm solving it and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna get a terrible score. And I do it. And guess what? I get 960. Now 960, it's okay. It's not like the best. It's not even good. It's still below average in SAT, because SAT is like, the average is like 1,050. Yeah, it's 1,030, 1,050. That's like the average. So that's what most people get. It's 1,030, 1,050, right? So I told myself, you know what? All I'm gonna do, my strategy is, I'm gonna one day preview, what I did wrong and what I can do better, the questions I got wrong in that test. And the next day I take a test, and the day after I preview, the next day I take a test, the other day I preview, right? And I previewed, and I looked at what I got wrong, and it tells you, like the correct answer and the explanation. So I kept looking at the what I got wrong and what was the explanation. And I did that. And I took another test. Now remember, I got 960. And this was literally yesterday, right? So yesterday I took the second test, the second practice test, right? I got 960 in my SAT, which is below average. This time, I'm solving the test, right? And I'm sweating, like I'm nervous. Like, I don't know if I'll even, I think I might even get a lower score, because this feels even harder, right? But I finished the test and I click on submit, right? So I finished the SAT practice test and I look down on the score and it's 1,100. Bro, 1,100, that's good. That's above average. 1,100 out of 1,600. Like, think about that. In a matter of 2 or 3 days, I went from 670 out of 1,600, 960, and then 1,100. In a matter of 2 or 3 days. And this is not to say like I'm the smartest or I'm the best. In fact, bro, I'm a retard, bro. I'm a dumb kid. I got like 670 in a SAT score in my first attempt, right? My practice test. From that to 1,100 in 2 or 3 days, just through doing. Through doing. That's all I did. I just did, man. I just did. I got feedback and I did. I got feedback and I did. That's all I did. No pun intended. But yeah. And I sat back for a second and I thought, you know what? That's really the key to success in anything, is to just do that thing, get feedback. So, you know, if it's a business, like what did people like? What can we improve? You know, what did I do wrong? What can I improve? What can I do better? Getting feedback, right? Getting feedback. It's like a test or an exam or something like that. What did I what were my mistakes? You know, what did I do wrong? And here's what I learned is, you know, instead of focusing on what I did wrong, I need to focus on what I did. I went from 670 to 1,100 in SAT, and a huge part of it was failure, was learning from my failure, was reviewing what did I do wrong, why was it wrong, and then going on to the next test, and then you know, seeing what did I do wrong, and then improving. That's how we improve. Because failure, if you look at it objectively, all it is just feedback. It's just feedback. That's all it is. It's all feedback. And failure is a part of success. You know, I love this quote from MJ DeMarco. I love it so much. He says, failure is the sweat of success. You know, if you imagine that, you know, success is like you're going through a really, really hard workout. Failure is the sweat that you go through in that workout, right? Really, in anything, the key to success in anything is do and feedback. That's it. If you look at the gym, for example, you know, what do you do in the gym? You work out. You do exercises for reps, right? But only working out will not build muscle. We all know that, right? Only working out will not maximize muscle growth. So we need to work out, but every workout we need to increase either weight or reps, progressive overload, right? It's the core of building muscle and strength. Is every single time we need to work out, we need to either increase the weight or the reps. That's how muscles grow. That's the science of all building muscle and strength, is every single time you go to work out, you increase the weight or the reps. That's it. That's all it really comes down to. And it's really that simple. Like, if every time you go into the gym, you increase the weight and the reps, you're building muscle. If you don't increase the weight or the reps, you're not building muscle. If you're going back, so you're using less weight and less reps because you can't maintain or go up in the weight, maybe you're actually losing muscle. So yeah, this is one of the biggest lessons I've learned, is success, all it comes down to is to just keep doing something over and over and over again, and seeing what you did wrong and improving it, seeing your failure and learning from it, seeing what you did wrong and you know, improving it, right? So yeah, this is really what I wanted to share with you. And as always, we're in this together, and we will make it.